Have there ever been times where you've had difficulty with figurative language, like metaphors and idioms, taking literal views of them, while seeing how other people may grasp them easily enough? I've been there myself. However, as I got older from my younger years, I began to find such language like metaphors and idioms more interesting and now more important. Hi, I'm Stephen McHugh. Welcome to my new channel, Stephen's Evolution. This is my first time on video, so apologies if it's not polished or the best. But I just wanted to get my story out there, sharing my lived autistic experiences through metaphors. I normally wear glasses, but I'm giving them some time off now because sometimes light and lenses don't quite go together, certainly in terms of more in the way of reflections. In addition, I may briefly, from time to time, take my eyes off screen to consult my notes or to think about what I may want to say next. Anyway, a bit about me. If you've come across me for the first time, I was diagnosed as being on the spectrum. Mine was seen as only a mild case of autism when I was aged around 7. It was compared to me being in the Pacific Ocean, but within safe reach of the seashore. One behaviour of mine that stood out was me taking literal views of idioms and metaphors in particular. When I saw a posh-looking car along the road and asked how much it might have cost, I was told an arm and a leg. But I thought, wait a minute, how can you use your arm and a leg to pay for something? I was only used to seeing us pay for things using banknotes and coins, and nowadays, more in the way of credit cards. That's where the confusion lay. In addition, another idiom that could have caught me out was letting the cat out of the bag. And what would cause me confusion here, there being no cat around or a bag for that matter. Now I know that an arm and a leg means a lot of money, and letting the cat out of the bag can refer to revealing a secret. I thought words and phrases would mean exactly what they said. However, over time, there was an underlying improvement in me, including in my language and communication abilities. It would be like me seeing something beneath the surface bubbling, like letting me know that there's something else to be discovered. Gradually, something I felt was shifting. Slowly, I began to see how interesting metaphors could be and how they could be used to describe things like how we feel or where we find ourselves, our life experiences, and our settings. I've learnt that there was a variety of ways in which we could describe such things. Progress was slow, but it was happening. The way I see metaphors is they're not just interesting to me, but also important. One way I've looked at this is by deciding to use them to describe my lived experiences with autism. One metaphor that stands out for me here is the mist clearing as the sun rises and warms, helping to reveal more in terms of clarity, having a clearer view of language and communication. That's what I plan to delve into more deeply in my next video. In addition, I also find there's a playful side to language like this and idioms. For the phrase over the moon, I like to visualize an animated character on screen looking overjoyed and jumping for joy so high that it seems like they're jumping over a moon. In the background, an image on the background. These are things that I plan to share in future videos to make them fun. In addition, I also have a blog post with short stories based on idioms where I get people to try and visualize what they read. And so that's my journey with language, from confusing to exciting, interesting, and important. As I've already said, my next video will be where I dive deeper into the mist clearing, revealing more in terms of clarity. With my language and communication, metaphors, the way I see them, are important in how I may describe my lived experiences with autism, well, in ways that I may find it difficult to describe using plain words. I have been able to do that, but it takes me a bit longer. The mist clearing is the one that stands out to me. Thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I look forward to sharing more stories of my lived experiences with autism. Some questions for you. Have you struggled with figurative language like metaphors and idioms in the way I've described by literal means? And do you have any favorites? Please feel free to share them in the comments section below. I look forward to reading and responding to them.